Welcome everyone to this weekly update of Kingwood First Baptist Church Ministry, trying to keep you up to date on how we're doing and how we're trying to, almost in process, keep everything going and move in the direction that God has in mind. We're excited to be back together this past Sunday. It's a joy to be together, and as I saw that on your faces, you were reflecting something that to be honest with you, hadn't completely expected. I expected us to be together. I expected there to be all kinds of new ways of doing things and stresses and strains, but I hadn't expected the true joy of everybody's faces just saying things like, it's wonderful to be here, it's good to be back with my church family. Wow, that's truly what it's like to be involved in the church. And I hope that you can be a part, even if you've had to maintain a little bit of a distance from us. I hope that very soon you can make that a part of being together with us. I was relating to that even as I got a letter this last week from Snyder. He and his family are ministering out in Nampa, Idaho, and it was great to hear from the Sniders and to hear how your giving through the harvest offering has been a part of something God is doing in their ministry there, and that we are a source of encouragement to them. It's a joy to know that God almost has them to a point of being self-sufficient. And that's wonderful after just being out there a couple of years and restarting a church that had almost completely died there in one of the suburbs of Boise, Idaho. God's doing a great work, and no surprise. And as I read the letter, I was reminded again of how God uses these wonderful people, the Sniders, and how sweet is the spirit that they have to share with each other. Anders was writing, and he's talking about what it's like for us, and we felt the same way when everything is just taken away. He says God's work, God's people even taken away from you. How can you minister? But he said, I was reminded of something Paul said in 2 Timothy when he said that, to use Paul's words, I felt chained in suffering to the point of being chained like a criminal. But, Paul said, God's word is not chained. Anders used that as a jumping off point to say that indeed God's word has not been chained. And they are absolutely getting back together. There's some pictures in here of them coming together in an outdoor service. A little bit cooler there, I'm sure, in Idaho. But what a joy it must be for them to have a sense of God bringing their church family back together. And it's wonderful for us to watch that take place in their lives. So I want to encourage you to continue to be involved with us in every way. And we are learning and growing and having to start things and perhaps move things around. If it seems like it's a little bit of a moving target, that's because we're learning as we go along and listening to the data as it's coming in and making our decision on that basis. We had been requiring reservations for services, but the back and forth of getting a full service and then some not being able to come and there being spaces available has just reminded us that we don't really need those reservations, because we also discovered this past Sunday night that we really didn't have the need that we thought we might in a high-risk service. We had under 10 attend that particular service, so we don't really need a high-risk service. We encourage those who need that distance to watch us on television and to be a part of that worship service in the way you're a part of this update. But because we won't need that high-risk service, the fellowship hall is available to us for overflow. So we'll just be opening at 9 and 11 as we have been this past Sunday, and looking forward to God's guidance in the coming days. We're planning toward, as the summer goes on, putting life groups back into place, but doing that in the way that God gives us leadership. All that whole time remembering how wonderful it is that God's word is not chained. That whether here in Kingwood or in Nampa, Idaho, God's doing great work. And His living hope continues no matter what virus, no matter what pressures are taking place. It's my hope that you can be a part of what God is about in every way, and that we'll find that hope in Him and share it with others. I look forward to doing that with you this coming Sunday at Kingwood First Baptist Church.